With the permission of our honored teacher and master, the crown of our head, even though he is not here, his spirit, his Torah, and his holiness are with us here. Blessed be God, we are present on a most elevated and uplifting day, and we are heading into a week, standing before a week that is lofty, uplifting, and holy. Times in which every person has the ability to elevate himself and reach very high places, even within the routine of his daily life. He finds himself in a low routine, in a minimal and diminished routine. One must strive to elevate himself and reach the highest places. First of all, today is Pesach Sheni, the second Passover. Pesach Sheni is a very honorable day, a very holy day, a day on which the Holy One, blessed be He, gave a second chance to anyone who did not succeed. Seemingly, the Torah is something that does not offer a second chance. The Torah is the most serious thing in a person's life. Observing the Torah is the most important thing in a person's life. A person's loyalty to the Holy One, blessed be He. A person's following after the Holy One, blessed be He, is the most serious and significant thing in his life. And in something so meaningful and critical, there is no room for any mistake. And yet, from Pesach Sheni, all our sages learned the source and the root for this. That even someone who did not manage to complete what he wanted at a certain time, on a certain occasion, in a certain matter, still has the ability to complete, to correct, to reach the wholeness he desires. It is a holiday. The day of Pesach Sheni is something that the people of Israel demanded, the people of Israel requested. Besides the fact that even if a Jew did not succeed in fulfilling his spiritual goals, he still has the ability to correct. What is it that is revealed from Pesach Sheni? The power of the people of Israel to innovate things in the world. The power of the people of Israel to innovate and bring forth into the world new concepts that did not exist before. The Gaon of Vilna, holy to God, the great and holy genius, who knew the entire Torah forwards and backwards. He writes that there are 5 commandments that the people of Israel themselves requested these commandments. 5 commandments that the Holy One, blessed be He, did not see a need for when He arranged the world, when He commanded the people of Israel, and yet the people of Israel did see a need for these 5 commandments, for these 5 matters to exist in the world. They demanded these things from the Holy One, blessed be He, and the Holy One, blessed be He, said, since you believe these things are necessary, since you believe these things must exist in the world, I command them as if they are my own will. The people of Israel create the will of the Holy One, blessed be He, and choose which commandments the Holy One, blessed be He, will command. Which 5 commandments are these? So he writes, the Gaon of Vilna writes, if we look at the letters of the Aleph Bet, we know there are 22 letters, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, which make up all the language and all the speech and all the writing of the Jewish people. The letters of the Aleph Bet are something holy, something given by the Holy One, blessed be He, to the people of Israel. But what is there? There are 5 final letters, Mem, Nun, Tzadi, Pe, Kaf, 5 final letters, which means that for these letters, there is an additional form when you write them, when this letter is written. At the end of a word, apparently, why is that? If all the letters were supposed to change when they appear at the end of a word, then why only these letters? Why not all the other letters as well? If it were like that for all the letters, then all the letters there should have been 24 initial letters and 22 initial letters and 22 final letters. Why did the Holy One, blessed be He, when He gave us the holy language, the sacred tongue, divide it so that 22 letters would be regular letters and 5 letters would be final letters? So the Vilna Gaon writes, the 22 letters are the letters that the Holy One, blessed be He, gave us. All of the Torah, all of the commandments come from them. What are the 5 final letters? These are the 5 commandments that we demanded from the people of Israel. They came from below, not above. They follow and are found at the end. For these 5 commandments, Israel requested from the Holy One. Where is this hinted? In the letters Mem, Nun, Tzadi, Pe, Chaf. Take Mem, the wood gatherer story. We read about the wood gatherer. What was his story? That the Holy One, blessed be He, did not command what should happen in such a case when someone comes and curses the Holy One, blessed be He, when someone comes and brazenly defies the Holy One, blessed be He. The people of Israel said, we are afraid and concerned that we might find ourselves in such situations. Holy One, blessed be He. We want to do that. We should have a ruling on what to do with the wood gatherer, which is the letter Mem. What is the second letter? The letter, in general, with the wood gatherer who gathered wood and desecrated the Sabbath, is the letter Mem. The letter Nun, what is that? Consultation. Who is the person who would consult the Holy One? Blessed be He. The blasphemer, who is mentioned in this week's Torah portion, cursed the Holy One. Blessed be He. This was not a situation that could have existed in the world from the perspective of the Holy One. Blessed be He. The people of Israel innovated this law. And so it is with all the final letters, Tzadi. The daughters of Zelophehad, even the Holy One, blessed be He, did not command the law of inheritance and estates regarding daughters. It was the daughters of Zelophehad who came to Moses and introduced this law. Pesach. Kaf, Cosby Batsur, through Pinchas, the law of zealot strike him was established. This is the ability and authority that the people of Israel have to demand and request things from the Holy One. Blessed be He. Great virtues and powerful things are present on this day. We know that the Yavetz writes in his prayer book that one of the things unique about Pesach Sheni is that this is the day when a ruling was made for the people of Israel regarding the matzot they took out of Egypt. The children of Israel left Egypt without knowing how long they would be in the desert. They set out on a very long journey, taking food for only 30 days for a month. On this day, their bread ran out. On this day, the matzot they had brought from Egypt was finished, and then they began to yearn for the Holy One. Blessed be He. That's when they started to ask from God. Seemingly, this is one of the days in which there was the greatest power of prayer in the world, the greatest power of supplication to God on this very day. On this day, all of the people of Israel began to lack bread. Until that day, they had matzot from what they had brought out of Egypt. They arrived in the desert on this day, and suddenly they had no food. Suddenly they had no matzot. So they called out to the Holy One, blessed be He. Every father had to provide for his entire family, his wife and his children in the desert. This is a day of supplication, a day of crying out, a day when, as the Holy Zohar writes, the gates of heaven are open. And the people of Israel, whose every action, even those that don't seem precise, and even those whose reasoning we don't understand, the intention behind them, the people of Israel chose to associate this day and to make it the day of the celebration, the holiday and the commemoration of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes. Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes, the Holy Tana. According to most opinions, this is not the case. The day of his Hilula is not actually the day of his passing, but rather, hundreds of years ago, the people who were responsible for the grave of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes renewed this practice, and they announced and publicized that this would be the day of the Hilula of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes. Yet, we still know that when the people of Israel establish something, when the people of Israel enact something in the world, even if it is not so in the higher realms, even if it is not so according to the order of creation and the natural order that the Holy One, blessed be He, set in the world, still, the people of Israel have the power to establish facts and to make things happen. Once we heard a testimony from someone who traveled with our teacher, the Baba Sali, Rabbi Yisrael Abu Chatzayra, to the graves of righteous people in the north, and they arrived at a certain grave. We won't mention which one, a grave among the righteous for which there is debate and disagreement as to whether that righteous person is truly buried in that place or not. The Baba Sali, Rabbi Yisrael Abu Chatzera, arrived at that place, wept at the grave, prostrated himself on it, pleaded and prayed to the Holy One, blessed be He, at the grave. Then there was a Jew there who said to the Baba Sali, but there is a dispute about this grave. It's not certain that he is buried here. Maybe he's buried somewhere else. Why are you so moved and certain that this is where the grave is, that this is where the righteous person is? So the Baba Sali replied to him, what do you think? If all Jews gather here, a righteous man won't stay elsewhere alone. Even if buried elsewhere, as Israel gathers here to study his teachings and invoke his name, he moves and stays present here, regardless of whether his physical grave exists in this location. The righteous man transfers his spirit to this place. This is something that the people of Israel determine. The same thing happens with the celebration of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes on a different day. The holiness, the spirit, the ability of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes passes to this day. And we need to understand, as we said, that everything the people of Israel do has power, and they have tremendous strength to determine the precise things that will be done in the world. Like reciting Hallel on Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh is not a major holiday mentioned in the Torah. There is nothing in the Torah that requires all of Israel to do something special on Rosh Chodesh. There is a sacrifice that is offered for Rosh Chodesh. The people of Israel themselves are the ones who developed the custom of reciting Hallel on Rosh Chodesh, as the Gemara says, when that Amora came to a place where they were saying Hallel and he didn't understand at all what they were doing there. Things that the people of Israel create on their own possess a very great holiness. Rabbi Yitzchak HaKohen Medovrin writes, what is the power of Rosh Chodesh? All of the festivals, we remember and commemorate them in memory of things that happened in the past. In memory of things that happened in the past. So as the years go by, the memory of these days, not their holiness, but the impact of these days on us diminishes. Just as when a person experiences a terrible tragedy, the further he gets from that tragedy, the soul does not heal. When a person experiences great joy, the further he gets from the time of that joy, his happiness decreases. It's the same with all the holidays, all the significant events. As we move further away from the time when that thing happened, our sense of its value diminishes. Our feeling toward it fades, and even in some dimension, the holiness itself gradually decreases. There are things whose holiness, their ability, their power, and things that are destined for the future, things that will be in the days of the Messiah, their power, their holiness, their influence only continue to grow stronger. That is why the Jewish people's regard for Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of each month, keeps increasing. Why is that? Because Rosh Chodesh is a holiness that comes from the days of the Messiah. The same goes for Lag BaOmer. Lag BaOmer in earlier times, even in the more recent past, was not such a dramatic and prominent day among the Jewish people. No, perhaps it was marked in small ways. The early authorities write that the only reason to rejoice on this day is because it was when Rabbi Akiva's students stopped dying. There is no rare or significant reference to this day. In the lands of Ashkenaz, this day was greatly respected because it is the day when the Rema passed away, but not to the extent of the honor that we find today. Why does this day's power, publicity, and Jewish yearning only increase as years pass? Because it is the holiness of the future. Rabbi Shimon represents the secret teachings, the Zohar, and esoteric Torah, all belonging to the future. Thus, as we draw closer, its holiness and fame grow. In the same way, as the people of Israel approach the days of the Messiah, they draw from there and take from there secrets and very great things. The people of Israel chose to connect Pesach Sheni to the yard site of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes. We need to understand what the connection is between these two things. Seemingly, there is no connection between them. We do not find any statement, ruling, or saying by Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes that establishes or gives any authority regarding Pesach Sheni. No, the people of Israel themselves made this association. So if we try to investigate, to delve deeper, to understand these things, what after all is the connection between the figure of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes and Pesach Sheni? So let's take a moment to observe and consider, what is the source of Pesach Sheni in the Torah? How did it even come about that there is this holiday called Pesach Sheni for the people of Israel? In the Torah portion of Beha'alotcha, the Torah tells us that the Holy One, blessed be He, commanded the people of Israel the mitzvah of the Passover sacrifice. Every year on the holiday of Passover, the people of Israel would offer a sacrifice to God in remembrance of the miracles and the wonders performed when they left Egypt. In the second year, a group of people was ritually impure due to contact with a corpse. There are opinions asking, were they impure because they were carrying the bones of Joseph the righteous? Or were they impure because of Aaron's sons who had died shortly before? There are different opinions about whom they became impure for. And they came to Moses, our teacher, and said, why should we be left out? The Passover sacrifice can only be offered in a state of purity, not impurity. If so, why are we who are impure? Women above women. So those people said, we who are impure, why should we be deprived of the inheritance of God? Why can't we? Why can't we participate together with all of Israel in offering the Passover sacrifice? The Holy One, blessed be He, said to them, I truly do not know. This matter is unclear. Let us be wise and hear what God will say. And the Holy One, blessed be He, made His voice heard and told Moses the law of the second Passover, Pesach Sheni. The Bnei Yisachar introduces a remarkable insight. He writes that those people who came to Moses and said, why should we be left out, actually had no problem themselves. Although they were impure, they would have already become pure by the time of the first Passover. But what were they thinking? They were thinking about all the other people in the world who would not be able to offer the sacrifice, who would not be able to bring the Passover offering. And so on behalf of those other people, they asked Moses to establish a new law. We really need to understand, why was it specifically on Passover that they came and asked and demanded, why should we be left out? Why can't we participate in the festival of this day? Why can't we offer today's sacrifice? Usually, an impure person cannot enter the temple or offer sacrifices. Impurity disconnects a person from holiness. Impurity is something that distances a person from the Holy One. Blessed be He. In no other holiday do we find this innovation of a second Sukkot or a second Shavuot, a second Hanukkah, a second Purim, and we don't find anything like that. On Passover, it is the only holiday where that group of righteous people came and said, why should we be left out? It can't be that we won't take part in this joy. Seemingly, if they were so devoted to the commandments, so eager to fulfill mitzvot, they should have come and wanted to innovate on every holiday. And if they saw that after Passover, this strategy, this request worked for them, and the Holy One, blessed be He, did indeed establish a second Passover, they should have come and done it again afterwards. On Shavuot, to come and say, why should we be left out? We want a second Shavuot. On Sukkot, to come and say to Moses, our teacher, why should we be left out? We want a second Sukkot. But they didn't want that. They saw a unique one-time opportunity, specifically on Passover, to introduce this new law and to establish a new ruling called the second Passover. So, to understand this whole matter and to delve deeper, we need to understand what impurity from contact with the dead, tumat met, is. We know that the Torah, in many places, especially in this portion, deals with the issues of impurity from the dead. In those days, anyone who was in contact with a corpse at the time, today we are all considered impure from the dead, but when the temple stood, there was a very strict observance regarding all matters of purity and impurity, and people managed to be careful and guard themselves from it. Anyone who came into contact with a dead person was under the same roof, touched them in any way, traveled with them in any form where a living person had contact with a dead person, the living person became impure and for a certain period could not eat from the sacred offerings or enter the temple. He is distanced, considered repulsive, and removed from purity and holiness. He is regarded as an impure person. At first glance, this is not understandable. After all, dealing with a deceased person, helping someone who has passed away, eulogizing them, burying them, these are very important mitzvot, commandments for which one receives tremendous reward in this world and in the world to come. Accompanying the dead to burial is an extremely significant act. Why should this make a person impure? Why should this diminish a person's spirituality? What does the mitzvah do? It sanctifies a person, adds purity to a person, brings goodness to a person. This mitzvah too of accompanying the dead. Being close to the dead is a mitzvah that reduces a person's holiness, diminishes their sanctity, but it should be exactly the opposite. And another question, if they still allowed everyone in Israel to become impure through the dead, a Jew wanting to become impure for a funeral may do so, but how does the Torah respond? In Parashat Imo, the Torah says all Israel may become impure from contact with the dead and must be purified afterwards. The priests, the tribe that serves the Holy One, blessed be He, the tribe that fulfills His Torah and His service in the world, they cannot become impure through contact with the dead. A Jewish person, a priest, can become impure. An ordinary priest can only become impure for his 7 close relatives. Father, mother, son, daughter, wife, he can only become impure for them. And the high priest cannot become impure even for them. What is the difference? If a priest is not supposed to become impure and can only do so for his 7 close relatives, then why not the high priest as well? We should have said that he becomes impure only for his 7 close relatives. What is the difference between these things? So once, about 2 years ago, we discussed a very, very important and essential principle regarding this whole matter of impurity from the dead. And if we want to build an approach and explain the topic of this day and the connection of Rabbi Meir and the miracle to him, why is impurity from the dead really a thing? Why really a person who comes close to a dead person becomes impure? So let's think for a moment. A person who comes close to a dead person, what psychological process does he go through? What thought goes through his mind? What opinion is running through his head? Anyone who comes close to a dead person, someone who approaches a deceased person, usually his self-worth drops significantly in his own eyes. That's the way of the world. Anyone who comes into contact with, hears about, reads about, or sees a person who has died automatically feels a very strong sense of diminished self-worth. As long as a person is facing a living person, he will always feel envy toward the living person, and a person will always, both in his mind and toward others, try to lower the value of the other person. It's always like that. God created the world this way so that there is always envy between people. Everyone thinks about what others have achieved and what they themselves have achieved, and a person wants to achieve even more than the other. A person will always envy others. When a person stands before someone who has died, there is no more envy. A person feels compassion for someone who has passed away, not jealousy. And whenever someone is faced with a dead person, their own sense of self-worth drops significantly in their own eyes. That's just how it is. Simple and clear. A person comes, reads about a righteous person who has passed away, reads about what a genius he was, how righteous he was, how holy he was, how much he accomplished in his life. Automatically, what does a person say? Where am I compared to this person? How much this person achieved and how little I have accomplished? A person hears about a wealthy man who has passed away and he compares his own financial situation to that of the wealthy man who died. What is a person who has passed away really? What do we take from a person who has passed away? A eulogy. What is a eulogy? To show who the person was and to inspire others. Come on, start hurrying up. There comes a day when the clock stops ticking and the race of life ends. You need to accomplish as much as possible. How do you reach that feeling? By seeing how far the great person reached and where we are in comparison, falling short of him. Every time we come close to someone who has died, what does that create? A very deep sense of weakness in a person toward himself, in his thoughts, his character, and his opinions. What have I actually accomplished or achieved? How far have I managed to get? What does this create? Impurity. What is impurity? One's distance from God, their insensitivity, the barrier between them and the Creator. What does God want? To follow His path. That a person should not constantly be jealous of others, looking at other people's life paths and saying, how did this person succeed? He succeeded so much, and how did that person accomplish so much? That is not what the Holy One, blessed be He, wants. The Holy One, blessed be He, wants a person to cling to his own path, to adhere to the life path that the Holy One, blessed be He, has created for him, and not to go and look at the life paths of other people. Yes, a person should be more motivated. A person should be more energetic as a result of seeing the life paths of other people. But a person cannot constantly envy others and look at the life paths of other people, copying them and thinking how much he succeeds and how much I don't, how much he has achieved and how much I haven't. What does this actually create? When a person copies others, covets with his eyes, follows the life paths of other people, it leads to a disconnect from his own life path. A disconnect from one's own life path means impurity that a person brings upon himself. It is a distancing from the Holy One, blessed be He, a separation between God and the person. This is why all the people of Israel, if they come close to anyone else, they become impure, because every Jew has a different role. An ordinary Jewish person who is born into the world, you simply can't know, he himself can't determine what his role is. The circumstances of life, the illuminations of life that a person experiences are what lead him to the places where he finds himself. They bring him his circumstances, his merits, and his obligations. The things a person goes through are what bring him to the place where he is. So what can a person say? A person might say, I ended up where I am by mistake. Maybe I wasn't meant for this. Maybe I wasn't destined. Maybe I wasn't meant for what I'm doing. Maybe I wasn't meant for the place where the Holy One, blessed be He, or where I am now. And somehow I just ended up and was led to this place by chance. So just an ordinary Jew, any Kohen, every time he comes near a person who has died, he becomes impure. But Kohanim are forbidden to become impure for any person. Why is that? Because the Kohanim have a path. The Kohanim have a set path in life. The Holy One, blessed be He, made a very specific demand of the Kohanim. You don't need to be people of kindness. You don't need to be Torah teachers or judges. You need to serve in the temple. You need to perform the holy service. So for whom is a Kohen allowed to become impure? Only for his 7 close relatives. Why? Because among the people of Israel, one person might be involved in one thing, another person in something else. Each one is engaged in a different matter and pursuit. With the Kohanim, it can't be like that. All the Kohanim are engaged in the same matter. Therefore, a Kohen is permitted to become impure for close relatives, for his father, his mother, his brother, his sister. Why? Because they are probably on the same level as he is. They are likely in exactly the same role as he is. For other Kohanim, for other people, he cannot become impure. Because every Kohen, as we know, there are priestly families. And each priestly family is involved in a different matter. Each priestly family serves in the temple in a different area. So for other families, he cannot become impure. Because yes, he might come to envy their role while they are serving in the temple, in the matter they are performing in the temple, and become impure for them. But since all priestly families are exactly the same, they serve at the same time, their role is the same, and the distinction among the Kohanim is not based on their merits, but rather according to the families they come from. Today, a Kohen is permitted to become impure for his own family. Why? Because he will not come to envy them. He follows the same path and is involved in the same things they are. But the high priest must not become impure even for his family. Why? Because there is only one high priest. There are no other high priests. There are no others who are high priests. There is only one high priest. So the high priest can serve in the high priesthood, and one day his father or mother will pass away. He will mourn for his father, his mother, his brother, and his sister, and he will come to take part in the path of their lives. He will come to take part in what they are doing. He will come to draw a comparison between his own life path and the things he does in his life to the things they do in theirs. This will cause him to be disconnected from his own life path, disconnected from the components of life that the Holy One, blessed be He, assembled for his life. What does this create within him? Impurity? What does this create within him? Distance from the Holy One, blessed be He. This creates a disconnection from God. Though God wants us to draw inspiration and take action, to look at other figures and understand from them how he is supposed to behave in his own life, but under no circumstances to take himself as a copy of someone else and say, if I haven't reached what he has reached, if I haven't arrived at the place where he is, then I haven't achieved anything and I'm worth nothing. Based on this, we can understand another law in this week's Torah portion. We know that the priests, this entire portion, Parashat Emor, and most of it deals with the priests, with the service of the temple, with everything related to the priests. And from what do the priests make their living? There, a person works, every person goes out to his work. From what do the priests make their living? The priests make their living from the offerings that are given to them. The people of Israel bring sacrifices. The people of Israel give the first tithe. All these things, everything that the children of Israel donate is given to the priests and they eat from it. And of course, the priests are allowed to feed the people who are with them, their household members, their sons, their daughters, their wives. They are permitted to feed them. Of course, even though the sons, the daughters, and the rest of the family do not work in the temple, they also need to eat, and they Their sustenance depends on the priest, so the priest is allowed to feed them from the offerings he has. But whom is the priest forbidden to feed? A Hebrew servant that he owns. If a priest has a Hebrew servant, a Jewish person working for him, he's not allowed to feed him from the priestly food. Why? He is considered impure with regard to this food. A Jewish person in ancient times, in the days of the temple, when people were careful about ritual purity and impurity, who sold himself as a servant. A Jewish person who sold himself as a servant to a priest is considered impure with regard to the sacred food, the holy offerings that the priest brings into his home, and he is forbidden to eat it. Of course, he is a Jew, he is a priest, and a Jew is forbidden to eat it. But what is so difficult about this? If a priest has a non-Jewish servant, a Gentile servant, he is allowed to eat from the sacred bread, he is allowed to eat from the terumah. This is not understandable. A Jewish servant who works for the priest is forbidden to eat from the terumah, from the foods, from the meat of the sacrifices, from all these things. A Gentile, a non-Jewish servant who works for the priest is allowed to eat. A non-Jewish servant, whether uncircumcised or not, he is a servant above, but a non-Jewish servant is considered more holy and of higher status than a Jew, since the servant can eat and the Jew cannot eat. So what is the secret behind this? What is the deeper meaning of this? What is a servant? A person who completely, absolutely nullifies himself before another person. So if there is a Jewish person who nullifies himself, sells himself, says, I am nothing for myself, I will only be a servant of a Kohen, I will only serve the Kohen, I myself will not achieve anything, I will only bow down, kneel, and be completely jealous before a Kohen. This is not something that the Holy One, blessed be He, desires. Yes, Jews are supposed to seek inspiration, to learn from the Kohanim, to learn from their qualities, to learn from who they are. But a Jewish person is not supposed to nullify himself and say, the Kohen will be a great person and I will just be a doormat for him. I will only be something that helps him be someone. This is not something that the Holy One, blessed be He, desires. The Holy One, blessed be He, wants each person to go and build his own life, to indeed take inspiration and to look at other figures, but to know exactly what his own life path is. And where the Holy One, blessed be He, is guiding him and where he is meant to reach. A non-Jewish servant, a non-Jewish person, yes, his situation is that he is a non-Jewish servant, a non-Jewish person, is that he has no role in the world, and truly his life is made up of all sorts of circumstances and all sorts of things. He can come and nullify himself before a Kohen and say, I will not be anything for myself, I will only be a helper to the Kohen to develop what the Holy One, blessed be He, wants from him. Therefore, a non-Jewish servant can eat terumah, but a Jewish servant, but he can eat terumah. But a Jewish servant, a person who is from the people of Israel, the Holy One, blessed be He, does not agree to this. The Holy One, blessed be He, does not agree that he should nullify himself and only be a helper to the Kohen to achieve what he wants to achieve. Absolutely not. A Jewish person, the Holy One, blessed be He, wants him to build himself according to who he is, according to the things that the Holy One, blessed be He, has given him, even if it is different from other people who are considered and called successful. The Holy One, blessed be He, wants a person to build his own path, his own journey, his matters that the Holy One, blessed be He, gives him personally by drawing inspiration and learning from other people. And this is the foundation of the entire concept of impurity and purity in truth. Based on this, we understand why specifically on Passover, those people in the first year after the Exodus from Egypt, that group of people came to Moses, our teacher, and said, why should we be left out? We asked this at the beginning of our discussion. After all, that group of people, as we said, did not only ask, as the Bnei Yisachar writes, it was not only because of their personal situation that they were impure and said, what should we do this year? How can we eat the Passover sacrifice? And therefore they were given Pesach Sheni. They didn't ask for this for themselves. In fact, they would have become pure by the time of Passover. They asked not for themselves, but for others. For the sake of others, there are also other people who are impure during Sukkot, during Shavuot, at other times when people make pilgrimage to Jerusalem. For all those times, they did not make such a request. Only for Passover did they make this request. Why is that really? So let's pay attention. What is the whole point of Passover? What is the essence of Passover? What do we take with us from Passover? Today marks 30 days since Passover. 30 days have passed, and we need to see whether we truly internalized Passover, the holiday we prepared for so much, for which we readied our homes, our clothing, and our souls. We need to see whether all that effort was worthwhile and whether we took with us what we were supposed to take. What is it that we take from Passover? What is it that we take from Passover? Attachment. And a person's struggle to reach his destiny and the purpose that the Holy One, blessed be He, has given him. What is servitude, as we mentioned earlier? What is servitude as we said about the priests, about the servants of the priests? What is servitude? A person who completely nullifies himself to another person, a person completely cancels himself out for another person. He is his slave. What does that mean? That a person who is sold as a slave, a person who is taken as a slave, has no identity of his own, no personality of his own, no aspirations of his own, nothing. He is entirely nullified to another person. What did they do to the people of Israel? They took all the Israelites, slaves in the land of Egypt, distorted, subdued, with no identity and no personal interests. What did Pharaoh always do in Egypt? He tried to change everyone's names. When Joseph the righteous went down to Egypt and they discovered that he was someone great, that he was rising, that he would become the viceroy of all Egypt, immediately Pharaoh changed his name. They changed Joseph's name to Zaphnath-Paneah, and Yocheved and Miriam. He changed their names too. He changes their names. All the children of Israel didn't just refrain from changing their names. It was actually a struggle and a deliberate effort to prevent their names from being changed. What is a person's name? A person's identity, a person's definition. This is what the people of Israel fought hardest to preserve in Egypt. It was thanks to their clinging to their identity and to what God had given them. Each person had his own role. As the Midrash says, everyone knew which family he came from and which tribe he belonged to. Not like us in this generation where all of Israel is confused. Within himself, no one knows which tribe he is from or what destiny God has intended for him. If the traditions had been preserved among the people of Israel, and this one knew he was from the tribe of Issachar, and that one knew he was from the tribe of Judah, and another knew he was from the tribe of Levi, then each person would know his role. Someone from the tribe of Issachar would teach, someone from the tribe of Zebulun would work, and someone from the tribe of Levi would serve God. Someone from the tribe of Joseph needs to fight for matters related to kingship. Someone connected to the tribe of Judah knows that his life is one of crises, ups and downs. But the people of Israel did not preserve their identity during this exile and became confused among themselves. What the Israelites did not fail at, what we did fail at in this exile in the land of Egypt, each person preserved his identity, kept to his role, and knew from birth what his role was. He did not envy or go after others. We see that in the Egyptian exile, all of Israel endured terrible, harsh, and severe slavery. 2 tribes did not work. 3 tribes did not work in Egypt during the slavery that took place there. The tribe of Levi, and the Midrash says also the sons of Joseph the righteous, Joseph's grandchildren, namely Ephraim and Manasseh, they did not work in Egypt. Seemingly there should have been the greatest conflict and hatred among the Israelites in Egypt. 9 tribes are working, subdued, broken. Meanwhile, 3 other tribes are unaffected. How does this not create conflict among the people of Israel? How does this not cause a rift among the people of Israel? How does this not lead to division among the people of Israel? Yet everyone remains united. With his faith and knowledge that the path in life on which the Holy One, blessed be He, leads him is the best one. Many from the people of Israel work as slaves in the land of Egypt and know this is our fate. In the end, we will understand why it is good for us. Others study, others have freedom in the land of Egypt, and they know why. They are happy with their lot. And this did not create division, separation, hatred, or quarrels among the children of Israel in the land of Egypt. And even if we look, we know from our teacher, the Holy Ari, and from many righteous people that a person who speaks slander, what is his punishment? What terrible thing will happen to him? He is reincarnated as a dog. This is what our sages tell us, that a person who speaks slander, who chatters and talks about this one and that one, who finds faults in others, he is reincarnated as a dog. Why is he reincarnated as a dog? What is the essence of a dog? What is a dog's identity? He has nothing of his own. He's always looking at his master. As our honored teacher and rabbi has said many times in this place and elsewhere, where is it written? The face of the generation is like the face of a dog. Where? Just as a dog always looks, just as a dog always looks at its master, so too people in our generation, they have no confidence to go with who they are. They have no confidence to go with what they are, and they're always looking back. Are they with us? Are they not with us? Is this one supporting us? Is this one with us, not with us? So why does a person come to speak lashon hara, slander? Someone who is always picking on others, who has nothing to say for himself, nothing of his own to express, no matters of his own that he is confident about, that he knows about, that he is sure enough of himself to speak about. So what does he do all the time? He gathers and tries to find all sorts of scraps of information about other people and comes and says these things. Maybe it will save him, maybe it will rescue him. He tries to cover up what he hasn't managed to achieve. And for what he has failed at, and for what he hasn't brought to the table, and for what he is supposed to accomplish. That's why a person who speaks lashon hara, what does he reincarnate as? A dog. Because what is a dog? It has nothing of its own. It's always talking about other people, watching other people, guarding other people's things. That's how it was in its life. He didn't build with the tools that the Holy One, blessed be He, gave him, in the way that the Holy One, blessed be He, gave him. What he could have built, what he could have accomplished. So what is the punishment and the serious consequence that comes upon him? He is reincarnated as a dog. We also once said, based on this, something truly wonderful. Earlier we said that the whole purpose of the exile for the people of Israel, the whole purpose of the Egyptians in the Egyptian exile was to cause the Jew to lose his identity, to make the Jew feel certain that if he was meant to be a Torah scholar, he would do everything to become a Torah scholar. If he was meant to be a person of kindness, he would do everything to become a person of kindness. The foundation and nature of the people of Israel is that each person clings to his role and his identity and knows that it was not the circumstances of life that led him to them. Rather, it is the path that the Holy One, blessed be He, has set. This is the trial of the children. This is the trial of the Egyptians to act toward the people of Israel. Based on this, we understand that the people of Israel left the land of Egypt even before the actual exodus from Egypt. Moses, our teacher, came and said to Pharaoh and to all the people of Israel, "Not even a dog will bark at any of the Israelites. You will see that there will not be a single one of the people of Israel at whom a dog will bark. You will not succeed in this matter. Each one of the people of Israel will cling to his own path, and they will not be among those who speak slander, who are always going to others, always looking at what others are doing." This is the essence, this is the identity, and this is the meaning of the holiday of Passover. What is it? A tremendous devotion to a person's goal, to a person's path. That is true freedom. What is it? There is slavery and there is freedom. What is slavery? It's not just that the person is a slave in his possessions, in his freedom, in his life, in his desires, compared to another person, but rather that a person is always dependent on other people. Today he sees someone who is successful in something and he chases after how to become that kind of person. Tomorrow he sees someone successful in another field and he chases after how to be successful in that other field. A person who studies Torah sees someone succeeding in studying Jewish law and is impressed by it, so he rushes to start studying Jewish law himself. He sees someone analyzing and offering correct arguments and insights about a complex issue in the Talmud, and he rushes to analyze the Talmud, but he doesn't know what his own path is, what his own track is, or what it is that God has designated for him. That's slavery. He belongs to other people. He follows in the footsteps of others. What does it mean to be a free person? What does it mean for a person to be his own person? What does it mean to be a free person? It means that the person knows his role, his purpose, his place, and he follows and clings to that. He knows that this is what God has destined for him, and even if he sees others succeeding in different things, he doesn't get confused by it and doesn't stray from what God has designated for him. This is the essence of the holiday of Passover. That is why those people who became impure and came to Moses and demanded a second Passover came specifically regarding the holiday of Passover. They didn't come about the holiday of Sukkot, nor about the holiday of Shavuot, nor about any other holiday. Why? Because with all the other holidays, it's not a holiday that's so much the attack matters. What is its point? Clinging to the person's goal, clinging to the thing that the person is supposed to reach. What did those people say to Moses? We don't understand. How can impurity from contact with the dead conflict with the holiday of Passover? What is impurity from contact with the dead? A person who disconnects from his own identity, a person who looks at others and is always chasing after what is successful and after what others are succeeding in, and loses his own connection and loses his attachment to what the Holy One, blessed be He, has given him. What is the holiday of Passover? That a person does manage to cling, that a person does manage to walk in what the Holy One, blessed be He, has given him. How do these two things clash? It can't be. What is the whole point of Passover? Purity from impurity of the dead. Purity and coming out of this exile where a person is enslaved to what others think, to what others say, to what is considered successful and what is not considered successful in the world. How can it be that these two things clash? What does Moses, our teacher, say? In truth, these two things cannot clash. So what did the Holy One, blessed be He, give? Precisely the second Passover, Pesach Sheni. Even someone who did not succeed and did not fully achieve this matter, he has the second Passover, in which he can succeed, in which he can indeed rise higher, and based on this we will understand something tremendous. Why did the sages, why did the people of Israel throughout the generations, and as we said, this is not for nothing, but in everything the people of Israel do, there is a secret and a hint. Why did the people of Israel choose to place specifically Why did the people of Israel choose to hold the celebration of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes, the day of commemoration of the passing, apparently, of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes, specifically on this day, specifically on the second Passover, and not at any other time? As we said, what is the second Passover? The strengthening of the power of the holiday of Passover, that anyone who clings to something, to his purpose, to his destiny. The people of Israel took the second Passover, which is the great power of the Passover holiday, and its lesson regarding this matter, and decided and said, Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes, his day of celebration, his memorial day will be on this day. What is the connection between these things? What is the link between these two things? So once we thought to say, let's take a moment and look, Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes, the Passover from this perspective, let's look at things. Passover, we know why we remember it. For what reason we commemorate Passover, for what reason we remember Passover. It is in memory of the exodus from Egypt. But before that, in the Torah, what do we already find? That Passover was a special holiday in a certain respect, a day on which something very, very significant happened to the people of Israel. What significant event happened to the people of Israel on Passover? On Passover, on this very day, as our sages tell us, Isaac, our forefather, gave the blessings to Jacob, our forefather. Everyone is familiar with what the Torah tells us in Parashat Toldot, that Isaac, our forefather, had two sons, Jacob and Esau. Esau was the older brother, and Jacob was the younger brother. Esau went down a bad path, followed his own desires, did evil deeds, while Jacob clung to the ways of his forefathers. Jacob clung to the ways of his forefathers. Jacob clung to the way of God. He followed the Holy One. Blessed be he with all his strength, and he was a wholesome man dwelling in tents. And the day came, and Isaac our forefather loved Esau more than Jacob. Even though Isaac, the holy and righteous one, should have loved and drawn Jacob closer to him more than Esau, Isaac drew Esau close and not Jacob. And the festival of Passover arrived. Jacob, our forefather, said to Esau, "Go and bring me game. Go and bring me food, the Passover offerings. This is what our sages tell us, and I will bless you. I will bless you, and I will transfer all the influence to you. All the powers that I have, I will pass on to you." This is what our father Isaac said. Esau went out to the field to bring game, as the Midrashim tell us. The Satan confused him and misled him, and he lost the blessings, he lost the birthright. And Isaac came and received the blessings from Jacob. Jacob came and received the blessings from our father Isaac. We need to ask why. Why does Isaac choose specifically this day to draw Esau close? Why does Isaac choose specifically this day to draw Esau close, to give him the blessing, to bring him to a great place? Why specifically on this day? So let's look, what was Esau? So our sages tell us, and the Shem Mishmuel and many others elaborate on this, that Esau was supposed to be one of the greatest figures among the people of Israel. As we later see with the sons, with Jacob, our forefather, among the tribes, there is a division between the tribes. There is Issachar and there is Zebulun. Issachar is the one who studies. Issachar is the one who delves into the Torah, and Zebulun is the one who supports him. Zebulun is the one who brings him money. Zebulun is the one who gives him food. That is how it was supposed to be. Jacob would study Torah. Jacob was attached to the Holy One. Blessed be he. And Esau was also attached to the Holy One. Blessed be he, but through a different path in life. He would go out, he would work, he would cultivate and do everything necessary in this world. And he would bring it to our forefather Jacob. But what happened? Esau the wicked did not know how to cling to this path, and he became confused. He did not see things correctly. He said, "What do I know?" Abraham was a person who was entirely devoted to spirituality. Isaac was a person who was entirely devoted to spirituality. If I have a tendency toward materialism, toward wealth, toward other things, it must mean that I am out of the game. Apparently, I have gone off track, I can't find my place, and there's nothing I can do. That's what Esau thought, and that's why he left the path. But that's not true, as we said. For each person, the Holy One, blessed be he, lays out a clear path. For each person, the Holy One, blessed be he, defines a clear personality that a person must adhere to and see how, from within himself, he can reach perfection. And to the highest and best, the very best qualities. Therefore, what did our forefather Isaac do specifically on Passover? The day when there is a special capacity, the day when there is a power for each person to connect precisely to the lifestyle that the Holy One, blessed be he, gave him, precisely to the way of life that the Holy One, blessed be he, gave him, even if it is different from the usual success story that a person might think he is supposed to follow. He called Esau and said, "On this day, try to connect. On this day, try to receive a blessing. On this day, try to draw close to Passover and bring me game." It didn't succeed. It didn't work. And what did we say? What happens to someone who doesn't succeed? To someone who isn't able on Passover to cling to his identity? To cling to the path he is supposed to follow. When is the time for correction? On Pesach Sheni, the second Passover. On Pesach Sheni, one is able to correct. On Pesach Sheni, one can reach the highest places. Esau may not have succeeded in correcting himself, but thanks to his devotion, thanks to his desire to do a mitzvah, to draw closer, to bring the Passover offering to Jacob our father, what did he merit? Our sages tell us two things. The first thing is that Rabbi Akiva came from him. Second, Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes descended from him. He was the grandson of both Nero Caesar, a convert, and Esau the wicked. Therefore, they took this tremendous and holy figure who came into the world thanks to a bit of Esau's desire to be better. A bit of Esau's desire on the holiday of Passover to connect to holiness and to eat the Passover sacrifice, to do something good. When did the people of Israel, out of what might seem like naivety or just a desire to create a new celebration, establish the celebration of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes? Precisely on Pesach Sheni, the second Passover. Because what is the first Passover? Esau's attempt to be good. He did not succeed, so on Pesach Sheni, they placed the figure of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes at the center because he embodies the attempt of a person to cling to his path, to truly follow the good way. Based on this, we understand something else. On the holiday of Passover, in the Haggadah, on Passover we read the Passover Haggadah, and one of the passages, one of the most famous parts of the Passover Haggadah is the story it tells about Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah and Rabbi Tarfon. And Rabbi Tarfon with 5 righteous Tanaim, 5 Tanaim of great stature, who came to Bnei Brak and were gathered in Bnei Brak. Rabbi Akiva and other righteous men who came to Bnei Brak and stayed up all that night, recounting the story of the Exodus from Egypt. Most opinions say, when was that night? On the night of the Seder. Our sages ask us, they ask. After all, whose place was Bnei Brak? Rabbi Akiva's. As we see, the 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva, most of them were concentrated, those for whom we mourn during these days, most of them were concentrated in Bnei Brak. Rabbi Akiva was the rabbi, the authority in Bnei Brak. Rabbi Akiva's teachers were in other places. Rabbi Eliezer was in Lod, and there were other people in other places. Rabbi Yehoshua, many were elsewhere. Then on Seder night, all visit Rabbi Akiva. That's unusual. As their student, Akiva should go to them. Why then does everyone visit him on Seder night? On no other holiday do they come to Rabbi Akiva. They visit Rabbi Akiva on Passover. Why specifically then? Because where did we first see an attempt at the realization of the power of the holiday of Passover? To reach the goal, to reach attachment, to make peace with the reality of life that the Holy One, blessed be He, gave to man with Esau the wicked. Esau the wicked, from his attempt to connect on Passover to his own identity, to what the Holy One, blessed be He, gave him. From him came Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes and also Rabbi Akiva, who was descended from converts. That is why they went specifically to Rabbi Akiva, because it is from there that we first learn about this desire, this goal, and this path. Here we see the strength of the people of Israel, how in what seems like nothing, just a simple desire to create a new celebration, they actually aimed for the truth. They aimed for the truth, they aimed for the right path, and they combined these two things, the holiday of Passover with its connection and its power, and Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes, who so strongly symbolizes and demonstrates this. That something which comes to a person, something that is a person's path, a person's aspiration, one should not turn back from it. This is a person's goal, and this is a person's destiny. There is a dispute in the Gemara in Tractate Makot, in the Mishnah in Tractate Makot on page 13, a disagreement between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. What is the dispute there about? If there is a person who killed unintentionally, we know this is a difficult reality that can happen in the world, that a person kills someone else by accident without intention. So of course, even though it was unintentional, the Torah did not exempt this person from all judgment. The Torah did not exempt this person from all punishment. The Torah said that a person who killed unintentionally must flee to a city of refuge. A person who killed unintentionally will flee to a city of refuge and go to a city of refuge. There is a disagreement in the Mishnah between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, and the Torah says that the priest, that is the person who killed unintentionally, must remain in the city of refuge until the death of the high priest. After the death of the high priest, he can leave the city of refuge. So there is a disagreement between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. After this person leaves the city of refuge, does he return to his original position of authority or not? A person was a judge, someone served in an important spiritual role, someone was the head of a court, someone was the head of a yeshiva, someone held an important position of authority among the people of Israel, and he killed unintentionally and went to a city of refuge for several years. After he leaves the city of refuge, after the high priest dies, does he return to his original rank, to the first position he held, or does he not return? Since he killed someone unintentionally, perhaps he is no longer worthy to hold this position. He is not worthy. That's it. His time is over. He committed a serious act. A Jewish soul is worth an entire world. Saving one is like saving the world, and destroying one is like destroying the world. Logically, he shouldn't regain his former status, but Rabbi Meir says he does return to exactly the same position as before. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, this person cannot return anymore to the place where he was. He should look for another role, be an ordinary person for the rest of his life. To return exactly to the same place he was before, he cannot. Why? As we said, what is Rabbi Meir's reasoning? A person's identity, the role and purpose God gives them, one never truly leaves or falls from it. One may make mistakes, fall, or even sin, but through repentance and correction, a person will always return to that place. What does Rabbi Yehuda say? No. A person who has fallen from a certain role, a person who has fallen from a certain place, who has lost the tools that the Holy One, blessed be He, gave him, who has lost the merits and virtues that the Holy One, blessed be He, gave him, he cannot return to them. He cannot reach them again and fulfill them again. This is something that is impossible. This week, in one of the lessons we gave here, we shared a truly wonderful insight about the power of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. We finished it, and we make a great effort and are very careful not to repeat words of Torah twice in our lessons. However, since we usually do not prepare the lessons far in advance, we shared the insight, and after the lesson we saw how we actually found many more new things and discovered many more new things. So we will quickly go over it again and complete the discussion. We spoke about something tremendous regarding the power of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, whose yahrzeit will be next Monday night. The day of his passing, his departure from the cave, there are many opinions about what happened on that day. This great and holy Tana, who has the power to spare the world from judgment and the ability to accomplish truly tremendous things. We asked, where does this power of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai come from? Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai has the power to transform any difficult situation a person may have. We mentioned several times that there was once a very strict custom among the righteous, that if one traveled to the graves of tzaddikim in the north, they were careful not to visit any other grave after going to the grave of Rabbi Shimon. They would go to the grave of Rabbi Shimon, and after that they wouldn't go to any other grave. Why? Because if a person goes to the grave of another tzaddik, it could be that this tzaddik doesn't have as much power to help. So if you go to another tzaddik, he will also help and act, and then the salvation will come. But if you go to the grave of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and make a request, and then afterwards go to the grave of another tzaddik, what does that mean? That means you don't believe 100% in the power of Rabbi Shimon. They say you need another tzaddik to assist Rabbi Shimon. This is an affront to Rabbi Shimon. It's something that shouldn't be done. That's why in previous generations, very great tzaddikim for hundreds of years were careful that the last grave they visited was that of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Do not go to any other grave after visiting Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. A person who prayed at Rabbi Shimon's, who asked Rabbi Shimon, must have complete faith, absolute certainty that the request he made, that the thing he wanted has happened, is finished, and not try to strengthen his prayer or add anything more to it. He has already prayed. He made his request at Rabbi Shimon's. That's it, the matter is finished. We asked, where does this power of Rabbi Shimon come from? After all, in the end, the most important thing in Torah study, the most important thing in the world is halakha, Jewish law. Halacha is what determines, it is what decides and says what will be. So how did Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai establish and create in the world this power that a person who clings to him, a person who truly follows him, can be freed from all judgments, can transform any difficult reality? So we brought an explanation for this and a new conceptual approach to this matter from the laws of muktzah, set aside objects on Shabbat. We know what muktzah is, that every person on Shabbat must be careful not to touch things that have no use for him on Shabbat. In the Torah, there is a disagreement. There are several opinions in the Gemara about where this started, from Nehemiah or from other special times later on, when the sages established that in order for a person to recognize and remember that today is Shabbat, they decreed that certain things which a person does not have regular use for on Shabbat, which a person does not have a necessary use for on Shabbat, one should not touch them on Shabbat. More precisely, one should not move them on Shabbat, not carry them, not use them. Touching them is apparently permitted, but one should not move them or carry them on Shabbat. This is the halacha that all of Israel is careful to observe. Why don't we touch the phone? Why don't we move the phone? Why don't we move a candle? Why don't we move all these things? They are called muktzeh. An item that is muktzeh, a person sets it aside, a person has set it aside. It does not belong to a person for the duration of Shabbat. There is a very fundamental dispute regarding all these laws, all these matters between Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and another Tana, Rabbi Yehuda, that is Rabbi Yehuda Bar Ilai. What causes something to be muktzah? In many places there is a phrase in the Gemara, Rabbi Shimon does not hold by muktzah, meaning Rabbi Shimon does not accept the law of muktzah, and it does not apply to him. We mentioned that the Chatam Sofer, and as we have also seen, the Kelelot Yaakov writes this as well, that what is the common principle? What is the unifying law? Ultimately, in many cases, both Rabbi Shimon changes his opinion and Rabbi Yehuda changes his opinion. Even though the general rule is that Rabbi Yehuda holds by muktzeh and Rabbi Shimon does not, in certain cases, they change their views. So ultimately, what was Rabbi Shimon's opinion after this muktzeh matter, following which he changed the law each time? And what was the rule that Rabbi Yehuda held after the muktzeh case, following which he changed the law each time? The Chatam Sofer, in his introduction to Tractate Beitza and in the Nina edition, writes, what is the conceptual definition? How can we define this matter? So he writes, according to Rabbi Yehuda, anything that a person did not think about at all before Shabbat is forbidden to use on Shabbat. It is forbidden to touch it. A person did not think about a stone, a person did not think about a certain utensil that before Shabbat I want to use it on Shabbat. This thing is forbidden to touch. This thing is forbidden to move. This thing is forbidden to carry. Automatically, if you did not think about a specific item that you want to use on Shabbat, from before Shabbat, you are forbidden to use this item. You are forbidden to benefit from this item. Rabbi Shimon says exactly the opposite. Anything you thought about that you do not want to use on Shabbat, that is what will be forbidden. But if you simply didn't think about a specific item, you didn't define, you didn't decide in your mind whether you want to use it or not, then you are allowed to use it. Rabbi Yehuda says that anything you did not prepare in your mind to use before Shabbat, it is forbidden to use it. All things are forbidden. Something you thought about before Shabbat that you want to use on Shabbat, that is permitted. Rabbi Yehoshimon says, no, the opposite. Everything is permitted. Thinking of something forbidden before Shabbat makes it forbidden. Their words also spark a dispute regarding twilight, bein hashmashot. What is bein hashmashot? It is the time when Shabbat begins. Bein hashmashot is a time that is in doubt whether it is day. Bein hashmashot is a time that is in doubt whether it is day or night. Therefore, we treat this time as Shabbat. And anything that was muktzeh, anything that was forbidden to use at this time, even if afterwards the reason for the prohibition no longer applies, why is it forbidden to use it? It remains forbidden to use for the entire Shabbat. What is the example that the Gemara always uses regarding this issue of muktzeh that becomes forbidden during Bein hashmashot and remains forbidden for the entire Shabbat? A candle that you placed back then, they used oil lamps. So you know what? You put a candle with oil. Inside, a person puts oil with a candle in a vessel. As long as the candle is burning and there is oil in the candle, it is forbidden to move this vessel. This vessel is considered a base for a forbidden object, as it is called in halashic terminology, a base for something forbidden. The candle is the forbidden object, so it is forbidden to move this dish. It is forbidden to move this cup as long as the candle is burning. But Rabbi Yehuda says, since at the onset of Shabbat, there was a situation of muktzeh, a situation where it was forbidden to use or move this vessel. Therefore, for the entire Shabbat, even though the reason for the prohibition due to muktzeh has ceased, for the entire Shabbat, even though the oil is finished, even though the candle has gone out, it will still be forbidden to move this candle. Rabbi Yehuda says the opposite. Rabbi Shimon says the opposite as well. Even something that was forbidden during Bein hashmashot, even if at the onset of Shabbat it was forbidden to touch or move it, if the reason for the prohibition no longer applies, that's it. It will be permitted to move and use this vessel, lighting a candle. If you put oil in a vessel and lit a candle with it, once the oil is finished and the candle goes out, you can use that vessel for any other purpose, any other matter, and anything else you want. This is the law, the major dispute in the laws of Shabbat that accompanies the entire tractate of Shabbat. What is our lesson from this? How is it connected to our lives? How is it connected to the character of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? So we explained and said that if we pay attention and look, this law, thank you. This halachic reality is very similar to the life of every person. What is Erev Shabbat? What is Shabbat? All 7 days of the week. Until the onset of Shabbat, a person is unlimited. A person can do anything he wants. Of course, within the boundaries of halasha, a person can go, a person can return, a person can get up, touch anything. He is free, he can do whatever he wants. From the moment Shabbat begins, a person becomes limited. From the moment Shabbat begins, a person already, he is more limited. He cannot move things. He cannot eat certain things. He cannot use certain things. He cannot go outside the permitted area. There are many things a person cannot do. Before Shabbat begins, a person can also prepare things for Shabbat. As we said, whether according to Rabbi Yehuda or Rabbi Shimon, a person can decide before Shabbat, I do want to move this object, and then he will be able to move it. A person can decide before Shabbat, I do not want to move this object, and then he will not be able to move it. Up until the moment Shabbat begins is the time for preparation. From the moment Shabbat begins, it is a time of restriction when a person can no longer do anything but is limited by the laws of Shabbat and cannot deviate from them to the right or to the left. What is this comparable to in the world? Up until the moment a person comes into this world and the time when a person enters this world. Before a person comes into this world, he is completely free. Before a person is free, in an absolute way. Before coming into the world, the Holy One, blessed be He, decides exactly what the conditions of a person's life will be. Before a person is born, the Holy One, blessed be He, the Gemara says, the Holy One, blessed be He, determines whether this person will be wise or foolish, rich or poor. The Holy One, blessed be He, determines all these things. After that, it's not certain that it can be changed. The person himself chooses for himself what will happen to him later in life. As our sages tell us, every creation, everything that exists in the world, before it is born into the world, before it arrives, before it is born into the world, before it comes into the world, the Holy One, blessed be He, consults with it. Do you want your life to look like this, or do you not want your life to look like this? The Holy One, blessed be He, asks, examines, and sketches it out. And He sketches out all the details. And he sketches out all the details, and also the very moment a person arrives in this world, that is the most critical moment in a person's life. Why? At the moment a person comes into this world, what happens? His fate is determined. What is fate? What determines if a person will have a life of wealth or poverty? How are these things decided? According to the moment a person arrives in this world. If a person is born into this world at a moment when the fate of wealth rules, he will be wealthy in his lifetime. If a person is born into this world at a moment when, if the fate of poverty rules the world, he will be poor throughout his life. A person's fate and everything that will happen to them are determined at the moment they arrive in this world. Just as there is a dispute between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon about the moment of entering Shabbat, there is a similar dispute regarding one's arrival into the world. According to Rabbi Yehuda, what happens? Just as Rabbi Yehuda says, at the moment Shabbat begins, if something is determined, if something happens at that moment, it applies to the entire Shabbat, so it is with a person. A person is determined, a person is born under a certain fate. At the moment a person enters the world, a certain fate rules the world, and throughout his life the person is under that fate. Throughout his entire life, the state of the world at the moment a person was born is the state that will accompany him for all his days. What does Rabbi Shimon say? Absolutely not. That state doesn't matter. The world's turbulent moment doesn't change anything. As for someone, it could be that he was born into the world under a certain fate, but he will change it later on. Just as Rabbi Shimon says regarding the entrance of Shabbat, the moment Shabbat begins does not determine the state of every vessel for the entire Shabbat. So too with a person. The person is the greatest vessel in the world. The moment a person arrives in this world says nothing about the course of his life. It's the same with the thought of preparing for Shabbat. What does the rabbi say? The same thing, the person's thought in preparing for Shabbat. What does Rabbi Yehuda say? If a person thought of something specific to be permitted for him on Shabbat, only then is it permitted. All other things are forbidden. Rabbi Shimon says exactly the opposite. If no one prohibited or set something aside in his mind before Shabbat, then it is not forbidden to him and everything is permitted to him. That is also the disagreement. What does Rabbi Yehuda say? If the Holy One, blessed be He, decreed a specific fate for a person before they were born, that person cannot move away from it and cannot escape it. What does Rabbi Shimon say? Exactly the opposite. A person can change, it doesn't matter. Everything is possible for a person. Just as Rabbi Shimon says, a person can touch all the utensils on Shabbat, a person can use all things. So too, in his life, a person can touch everything, attain everything, reach everything. And this is what we discussed once in a previous lesson. Afterwards, we noticed it. This is a disagreement between Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Yehuda. What is the most significant event in the story of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? Let's look. The disagreement is also between Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Yehuda. What is the disagreement between Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Yehuda? What does the Gemara in Tractate Shabbat, page 33, tell us? Once, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Yehuda, this is the same Rabbi Yehuda Bar Eli, and Rabbi Yehuda ben Gerim, and Rabbi Yossi gathered in one place, and Rabbi Yossi as well in one place, and they discussed the Roman Empire, which at that time ruled the world. The Roman Empire ruled over the people of Israel at that time, and Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon disagreed with each other. Rabbi Yehuda said, how pleasant are the deeds of this nation. The Roman nation, what pleasant things they do. They build marketplaces, they build bridges, they build bathhouses. There are many good things in what they do. What did Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai say? Absolutely not. They built marketplaces to seat wicked women there. They built bathhouses to pamper themselves. They built bridges in order to collect taxes. Everything they did for themselves. The authorities, Yehuda recounted and said this. The authorities, they heard this, the authorities heard it and said it, and then they decreed a sentence against Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai fled to a cave, and there he attained all the secrets of the Torah and everything else, and received all his strength. There he acquired you and your flock, and there he acquired you and your flock, and from there came all the strength of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. What do we see here? Once again, the same dispute between Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Yehuda. Seemingly, it's not clear. Didn't Rabbi Yehuda know everything that Rabbi Shimon knew? Rabbi Yehuda saw what those connections, those markets, and those lectures were used for. So how can he say that all the actions of this statement is very pleasant, but it's exactly the same thing? At the moment the market was established, at the moment that bridge was built, at the moment that bathhouse was set up, no one knew what it would be used for. It was a good establishment. So Rabbi Yehuda always follows the beginning. What happened at the beginning is what continues throughout all the time. Just as Rabbi Yehuda says regarding a person's arrival into the world, at the moment of arrival into the world, it is determined exactly what will be. We look only at the moment of arrival and not at what happens during the rest of the time. Can a person suddenly during their lifetime do something and try to become rich? It won't help him. Why? Because at the moment he arrived in the world, he was born under the sign of poverty. So said Rabbi Yehuda, actions that are not so pleasant. Look at what they are, how it started, what happened at the very beginning. Focus on the basics. What is Rabbi Shimon's approach to these things? What is Rabbi Shimon's perspective on these things? No, always look at the present and always know that anything can change. So Rabbi Shimon answered and responded to Rabbi Yehuda, you say that we follow the moment of the beginning? Absolutely not. Let's look now at what is happening. A person is judged according to his actions at every moment, and anything can be changed for better or worse in that very moment. Right now, it is being used for bad, so it is bad. Right now, it is being used for not good, so it is not good. And that's how the entire event of this story unfolds, and that's how the whole story of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai developed, based on this opinion. And anyone who looks there in the story in the Gemara will find the entire story of the Gemara. The entire story that the Gemara brings, the whole event, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai fled to the cave, and all these things on page 33, Tractate Shabbat, in the chapter with what may we light and the conclusion of the story of Rabbi Shimon. How does this story of Rabbi Shimon end? How? With the Mishnah that we recite every Friday evening, that at the time, at twilight, everyone must say, did you tithe? Did you set aside the heave offering? Did you light the candle? A person must say 3 things in his house as darkness falls. What is this about? It concerns this matter of twilight, to teach us what the real dispute is between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon regarding the Romans. It is the same dispute they have precisely about twilight. As we said, this is also the dispute about a person's life and about everything in a person's life. What do we go by? Do we go by the moment of beginning or by what happens to a person during his lifetime? Is a person limited by the moment of his beginning in life, or can things change for a person over the course of his life? Does anyone want to add something, say something, righteous ones?
He made this for himself, to say to our weakness that it's all unemployment and fasts. That was his mistake, and he weakened us. This demonstrates an incredibly impressive level of physical and mental power that is truly remarkable and exceptionally strong in every single way possible. All right, that's certainly with regard to
Mazal destiny. Some say Israel is subject to fate, like Rabbi Elazar ben Dat, who was poor. Why? Because that's how it was determined from the moment of the creation of the world. It changes according to actions, according to things. According to Rabbi Shimon, yes.
That dispute taught them about work needed for its own sake. According to Rabbi Yehuda, one who works on Shabbat is liable for work needed for its own sake.
Explain what is meant by work that is needed for its own sake.
If a person, for example, a person who digs a pit, then the act of digging must be for the sake of the pit itself. But there is a dispute about what happens if a person dug on Shabbat and his digging was not for the sake of the pit, but rather he wanted the sand. His intention was for the sand and not for the pit. Rabbi Yehuda says what? Work that is needed for its own sake makes one liable. A person is liable for this by Torah law. Rabbi Shimon says work that is needed for its own sake, he is exempt. So according to what the Honorable Rabbi is explaining, you could say anything. What is Rabbi Yehuda's opinion? Rabbi Yehuda said the work that was established, it was established in order to do what? The labors of the tabernacle, those are the labors. So since when this work was established, it was established as a form of labor. It doesn't matter what you think now, whether you want it for now or you don't want it for now. It's still Torah law. Rabbi Shimon says, no, right now in practice you want it for the weekday, so you go by what you want now and not by what was originally established.
One more thing.
When it comes to Galumot, regardless of the specific project or task he chooses to undertake, he always produces consistently high quality and impressive results. But they somehow came to the conclusion that this success was actually a deeply hidden secret that he was keeping from them.
That's why he reads it. You reminded us of something very beautiful that we heard a few days ago. Let's mention that as well. There is Hashem, the Holy One, arranged things so that according to the custom among Sephardic Jews, it is forbidden to get a haircut, forbidden to shave, forbidden to cut one's hair throughout all the days of the Omer. And when is it permitted for Sephardic Jews to get a haircut? According to the simple understanding for most of the Jewish people, the day after Lag BaOmer. Why? Because where's the main emphasis on not touching the beard found? Precisely in the Holy Zohar. So if people come to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai on Lag BaOmer without a beard, if they show up without a beard, then Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai will look at them unfavorably. Therefore, from heaven, it was arranged that everyone would have a beard on Lag BaOmer with the longest beard possible, and they would come to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai with a beard. The day after, they would shave it off, but at least when coming to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, they would be in accordance with his view. They would come to pray at his grave with the longest beard possible.
Rabbi Shimon, this is the way to Gerora. Israel was exiled. Why specifically the way to Gerora? If I receive the goodness of Rabbi Shimon, according to the law, as defined, then anyone can use it, from wicked to righteous, from sinner to son. Rabbi Shimon, too, whose fate suddenly depends on the army. According to Rabbi Shimon, there is no longer judgment upon all of Israel, but there are two whose fate suddenly depends on the army. If we accept the goodness of Rabbi Shimon and his way of conduct, and accept him as if he has almost declared upon us, then we...
Thank God, righteous ones. Let me say one more thing about Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. The more one tells of his praise, the better, and with this we will conclude. We saw and wrote a few years ago about a very serious matter. One of the greatest strengths of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and one of the areas where Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai expressed his opinion with the greatest force, with the utmost strength and power, is in the debate over whether the Torah will be forgotten by the people of Israel, or will not be forgotten, in the debate over whether the Torah will be forgotten by the people of Israel, or will not be forgotten by the people of Israel. We know that the Gemara tells us that all the sages of Israel gathered in Yavne and said, in the future the Torah will be forgotten by the people of Israel. It is very possible, it could very well be that at the end of days the Torah will be forgotten and will not be found among the people of Israel. And Rabbi Shimon stood up and said, I guarantee, I take responsibility that the Torah will not be forgotten by the people of Israel. The Torah forever will not be forgotten by the people of Israel. Seemingly, where do we get in any way these strengths, this inner power, this certainty that the Torah will never be forgotten by the people of Israel? After all, simply put, yes, that's what was supposed to happen. The people of Israel were in a very difficult generation, the people of Israel were in a very lowly generation, and the children of Israel went into exile, where the odds were that the further they went, the further they descended, the more they rolled from one exile to another, the more they rolled from exile to exile, the more they rolled from exile to exile. Yes, the people of Israel were supposed to forget the Torah, and indeed we see a very great decline, but still the words of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai were fulfilled, and the Torah was not forgotten by the people of Israel. How can this be? So we saw in the name of one of the righteous that a wondrous thing happens. And with this we will conclude to demonstrate the power of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, our honored teacher and master. In the last lesson last week, which was here, mentioned what the Shlita writes. What does the Shlita write in Shem HaGedolim? What does the Shlita write there? The Shlita writes that he received from one of the Kabbalists and sages of the West, who received and heard in the name of the Holy Ari, that when Moses, our teacher, ascended to the heavens to bring down the Torah, at that moment Moses was not there alone. But who was with Moses? The soul of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. The soul of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was with the Holy One, blessed be He, in the heavens. It was with the Holy One, blessed be He, in the heavens. And together, Moses, our teacher, and the soul of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, both of them together brought down the Torah and delivered the Torah. It is written, you ascended on high, you took captives. The acronym for captives, Shvi, is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. In the future, the Torah is destined to be forgotten by Israel. Because we know Moses, our teacher, who received the Torah from the Holy One, blessed be He Himself. When a rabbi transmits Torah to someone, when a rabbi imparts spiritual knowledge, spirituality, he is not only passing on the literal Torah that he learns. What is he transmitting? The holiness with it, the spirituality with it. Why is it that a non-Jew who studies Torah receives intellectual knowledge but does not receive holiness, while a Jew who studies Torah does receive great holiness as a result of studying Torah? Why is that? Because he receives it from a holy rabbi, he receives it assuming his rabbi is holy, and a person who is not of high spiritual stature, then he receives from him both the Torah and the holiness. But what then? As generations pass, the holiness diminishes. Moses received the Torah from the Holy One, blessed be He. He received it with full holiness, he received it with complete spirituality. He passed it on to Joshua, son of Nun, and the holiness diminished a bit. Joshua passed it on to the elders, and it diminished even more. The elders brought it to the prophets, and it diminished even more. So what did the sages say? If in every generation the holiness of the Torah, not the Torah itself, but our holiness, our ability to draw close to the Torah, keeps decreasing and decreasing, what does that actually create? That a generation will come, a situation will arise in which there is no more holiness, in which the holiness has completely faded and ended, and there is no longer any holiness in those who study Torah, in the rabbis who teach Torah, who are able to transmit holiness from generation to generation, from time to time, to all of Israel. This was the opinion of the sages, and it was a correct, justified, and precise opinion. But what did Rabbi Shmuel Baruchi say? No, what did Rabbi Shmuel Baruchi say no to? That the Torah will not be forgotten from Israel. Rabbi Shmuel Baruchi gave a guarantee, a clear assurance that the Torah will not be forgotten by the people of Israel. How is that? As we said, Moses, our teacher, taught the Torah. From him, the holiness began to descend from generation to generation, from one generation to the next, until a certain generation in which the holiness was supposed to cease, to fade away. But what if Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was also with Moses, our teacher in the heavens. He also received from the Holy One. He too was with Moses, our teacher in the heavens. He also received the holiness of the Torah from the Holy One. Blessed be He. So what does that mean? That the level of holiness in receiving the Torah by Moses, our teacher, and the level of the Torah's holiness by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai are equal. And then even if the Torah ended, even if the holiness of the Torah ended with Moses, our teacher, in a certain generation, it is renewed again with whom? With Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And with Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, it started once again. The exact same level of the Torah's holiness began to descend, and the holiness of the Torah continued to descend, starting precisely from the time of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And this is also the reason it is written that every person must engage with his own study of the Torah of secrets. Our sages knew how to reach. Of course, if one is worthy of it, our sages knew how to attain the highest spiritual insights, even from the simple meaning of the Torah alone. From a certain point, it suddenly became an obligation for every person to engage in the study of the secrets of the Torah. Why? Because there was a certain generation in which the holiness of the Torah alone could provide a person with sufficient holiness, with immense holiness, to sanctify him, to purify him. But this diminishes from generation to generation, since the people of Moses, our teacher. Therefore, a person needs to combine with all his studies, the study of the secrets of the Torah, the teachings of Hasidism, all these things, because this Torah gives him holiness. It gives him vitality. It gives him spirituality for all his studies, for all his pursuits. As the holy Baal Shem Tov says many times in the Gemara, there is an expression that says, sages, be careful with your words. Sages, be careful with what you say. The holy Baal Shem Tov would say, what does it mean? Sages, be careful with your words. Torah scholars, sages in every field of Torah, be careful with your words. Always, always make sure to have the holy Zohar. The teachings of the Kabbalah, all these things in all your matters. With God's help, righteous ones, we will be here at the lighting on Monday. There will be joy, blessing, and success. And in these great times, the strength of these great tzaddikim who surround us will stand by us with God's help.